This broadcast is presented in 4K HDR Ultra High Definition. Presented by Horns and Hooves Entertainment. You are watching Buffalo After Dark.
Good evening, everybody. This is your host, Bob Hansen at Buffalo After Dark. I am here with my co-host, Sean O'Malley, a.k.a. Mr. Bubba Matt. How are you doing tonight in this lovely sunset evening in the state of Georgia?
Oh, nothing much. Just trying to stay cool from this typical Georgia freaking heat, freaking humidity, getting some food, all that stuff. But besides that, it's all good.
I'm glad. But I can tell you from my end, it's going to be rainy today and tomorrow.
Shoot, at this point, I would take rain right now.
You would?
I would. At least it'll cool the temperature a little bit, cause oh my gosh, it's going to be in the freaking. Today's high was just over 100 degrees.
Oh, really? Is it?
Yeah, and it's going to be the same tomorrow.
Oh, damn, dude, that's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, so you can imagine how much I can't stand the southern heat down here.
Yeah, you'd rather be somewhere cool.
Yeah, I'd rather be back up north.
Fair enough. I mean, it's not for everybody. I could say that.
Right.
Yeah, so let's kick off the show with some very interesting stuff because there is a lot to uncover today. And we're going to start off with the NHL. And tonight is Game 4 of the 2022 Stanley Cup Finals. And last week we caught up for the beginning because last time we recorded was Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. And since that game, the Colorado Avalanche won the first two games at home at Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. They won the first game 4-3 in overtime, which was the game-winning goal by Andrei Burakovsky. And then the Avalanche dominated the Tampa Bay Lightning in convincing fashion with a 7-0 shutout over the Tampa Bay Lightning in Game 2. Yeah, and Cale Makar had a multi-point game. So, and yesterday, by some fucking coincidence, he got the Norris Trophy for league's best defenseman.
Wow.
Yeah, so Cale Makar is making a case for his push, if they win the Stanley Cup, obviously, to win the Conn Smythe Trophy. There's no denying that at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, some people have said, Sean, that he's the next big thing. Yeah, the next big thing since Bobby Orr. Could you imagine that? One of the all-time greats being compared already with Cale Makar.
Dang. I honestly, how long has he been in the league?
About 4 or 5 years.
Oh, he still got plenty of time. But
yeah, let's see.
By the way, he's progressing, though.
Well, I mean, he's a young buck, I can tell you that. I think the last time I checked, I think he's like 21, 22 years old.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm wrong. He's 23 years old. He's going to be 24. He's going to be 24 in October. Just the day before.
Yeah, he's got more. Shoot, we still got another 10 or more years to go.
Yeah, maybe 15 at max, depending how you take care of your body. Yeah, I mean, if the Avalanche win the Cup this year, it's going to be almost hard to tell who wins the Conn Smythe, whether it's Cale Makar or Nathan MacKinnon or Gabriel Landeskog. I don't know. It's hard to tell, honestly. But if I'm giving it to anybody, in my book, it's definitely Makar for sure. That's how I look at it, of course. So, and then on top of all that, I also found out, speaking of the Avalanche, I also found out that ESPN's E60 series, E60, the documentary series, the show Unrivaled, the Red Wings versus the Avalanche, is going to be airing at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday, June 26th. So that's this Sunday coming up. They're going to be premiering a 2-hour documentary about one of the bloodiest rivalries in all of hockey. And I honestly cannot wait until they premiere that. That's going to be ridiculous. I honestly can't wait.
Yeah, and ever since you told me about the freaking rivalry, I can't wait for it also.
Yeah, it's coming out on Sunday, so you don't have to wait long enough.
Right. I'm looking forward to it too.
Hell yeah, dude! It like back in my day when I was growing up, that was one of the fiercest rivalries in all of hockey, if not top 5 of all time, even top 2. I would even say, as far as go.
Nice.
Yeah, like that's how intense that rivalry was at the time. It truly was insane. But yeah. So on top of all that, a week ago, what's today? Wednesday, the 22nd. So just a little side note here, just for anybody who doesn't know, or some of you may have caught up, because today is June 22nd, 30 days from now, exactly, July 22nd, 2022, exactly in 1 month, I'm going to be a married man.
Cannot wait to be there for your biggest day, man. Congrats on that.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm so excited. I can't express the emotions that I have going through me right now. Because at this point, my fiance and I are just going through last minute changes for like the DJ and with the florist and with the church and all that stuff. And we're getting our license to wed on Friday. So we need that in order to get married. So yeah. And then I actually started writing my vows. It's not finished, or better yet, I just started it. So I'm getting some ideas in there. So I honestly can't wait to show it off on the day of the podium or at the altar for the day of my wedding. So I honestly can't wait. So we're going to be surrounded by friends and family. I mean, a lot of you are going to probably be like, well, we never really met, so I might as well go around and say, hi, how are you? You know, when you go over there, because you've never met my family or me for that matter personally, but you're going to do so for the first time in about a month.
I am. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in person.
I can tell you, we're going to give you a big warm welcome to New York, or back to New York, because you said you're from Brooklyn.
Yeah, I can't wait to be back temporarily.
Yep, and then after the wedding, we start our little adventure to Kansas City in October.
Yes,
I can't
wait for that either.
Hell yeah, for sure. So on that side note, let's get right back to what we were starting to do, and that is obviously I'm excited for my wedding, but the last Thursday, I would say exactly a week ago, there was actually a trade that pretty much took place between the Montreal Canadiens and the Vegas Golden Knights. And this is a pretty interesting trade because nobody really thought this was going to happen. I mean, it's no secret that Evgeny Davidoff's name was being thrown around as a piece to be traded, but Evgeny Davidoff was supposed to be traded to the Anaheim Ducks, but then the league didn't let it go through because of the fact that the Golden Knights tried to snitch their way out of his contract and they tried to lowball him. So I'm glad though that it worked out better for him. So now it's been almost a week and he's been traded to the Montreal Canadiens. And in return, what did Vegas get? Shea Weber's remaining contract for $9.7 million per season until he's 40. Yeah, so he'll be 40 years old by the time the contract is over, and he's currently 36 years old. And the Vegas Golden Knights, and it doesn't go against the cap, so they're holding on to his contract for the time being. As for the Canadiens, they're going to get an impactful player who will finally at least get a top 9 role on the Montreal Canadiens. And honestly, I don't expect him to go anywhere at this point. You trade for Davidoff, you get Shea Wright, and you get rid of Shea Weber's horrible contract because he's never going to play again. So your best bet is to trade his contract and get some sort of impactful player. That's exactly what the Canadiens did there.
Yeah. Like you said, I don't see Montreal doing anything right now. Maybe in the next few years, but yeah, not right now.
Well, they better get a goalie fast in the future because Carey Price won't be there very long. I can tell you that right now. And it's almost very evident to me that the Canadiens are in fact going to. Oh, shit. Breaking news. Nazem Kadri is going to be playing for the first time since the semifinals against the Blues for the Avalanche.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Nazem Kadri is going to be in the lineup. How freaking amazing is that? I can't wait to see how he does. Yeah, so that was breaking news. As I was looking through the TV real quick, it just showed them that he's in the lineup, so that's perfect.
Yeah, good luck with that, Tampa Bay.
Yeah, well, Nazem Kadri is their agitator, so he's their Tom Wilson basically. But he is a free agent, and I can imagine Seattle getting him. But we'll get to Seattle in a little bit because there's a lot of things that we got to talk about with them. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. I think it's time for a intervention, but we'll get to that in a bit. what was I going to say? So we have some interesting news. So apparently the Nashville Predators were sold.
Oh, I think I heard about that. Yeah, former Tennessee governor bought him.
Yeah, Bill Haslam. Yeah, the former governor, Bill Haslam of Tennessee, is set to become the new full-time owner of the Nashville Predators. And he will not be the full owner for at least another couple of years, because right now he's the minority owner, but he's going to be the majority owner in a couple of years. And his net worth right now is $2.3 billion. And get this, just a good kick. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying, wow.
Yeah, and guess what? You want to hear the biggest icing on the cake about all this?
What is it?
He's Jimmy Haslam's brother.
Oh, wow.
Jimmy Haslam is the owner of the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, could you imagine that? Your brother owns the Nashville Predators, yet your brother was the former governor of the state of Tennessee, yet your brother... So your brother is the owner of the Cleveland Browns and now the owner of the Nashville Predators, and you were also the former governor of the state of Tennessee. So
okay, so all right, hold that thought. I'm about to get some food real quick.
Yeah, take your time, ladies and gentlemen. He's ordering food.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, hey, you ordered your double cheeseburger?
Oh yeah, cannot wait.
Let me guess, you got McDonald's.
No, I am at a Steak and Shake.
What? What's Steak and Shake?
Oh, you know, what? Oh gosh, it's a regional restaurant where they serve steak burgers and French fries, all that stuff, and different kinds of milkshake.
That sounds like fun.
It is, and it's cheap too.
Oh, that's good. I mean, what place would want to order an $11, $12 cheeseburger?
Right, you get a complete meal for cheap price, man. That's one of the best things about Steak and Shake.
Well, that's awesome, man. Enjoy it.
Oh, I will.
Yeah. So Jimmy Haslam's brother, Bill Haslam, is going to be the minority owner of the Nashville Predators for the time being, but he will indeed be the majority owner in at least 3 years from now.
Wow. I mean, hey, good for him. I mean, what else can I say about that?
Scandals and corruption.
Okay, I did not know that part.
Of course. I mean, Jimmy Haslam is in many scandals and corruptions, and he's also been he's been under some allegations too in the past. I think Bill Haslam as well. I mean, I don't know enough about Bill Haslam to make a full argument, but I do know enough that they're both corrupt. But if Bill Haslam could somehow turn the Nashville Predators into the friggin' Avalanche, then good for him.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. I hope he does.
But what does he know about hockey? I mean, I know he was the governor, and I think he approved the Predators Stadium. But what does he know about running a hockey team as if he were to be a politician?
Good question. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if he ever took the time to, maybe study hockey. I mean, you never know. But you got a point there.
Because there are owners out there who do buy teams just for profit and don't give a shit about them.
Right.
So that's a big factor. That's why I'm like, okay, let's see how this guy pans out. I mean, that's the only way I can make that determination.
Yep.
Yeah. And so other than that too, we have some really interesting news coming out of the state of Arizona. Yay.
Oh boy, here we go.
You ready?
Give it to me.
The NHL is set to meet this summer about potentially hosting an NHL game in Mexico, and the Coyotes would be the team as the host.
Oh boy.
Now, hold on. So you're telling me that not only do you have a shitty Arizona State arena, you not only can you not put your logo there, but you're also considering putting the Coyotes in a freaking, out of state game in a city or in a country like Mexico. Like, just how?
My question is, what makes who down who? All right, I'm not trying to sound stereotypical and all that stuff, but I don't know how that's going to work out.
I mean, football you can easily get away with because the state of Arizona has the Cardinals and they have the Diamondbacks, and there's a lot of Latino and Mexican players and stuff like that, and other languages and cultures. But how are you going to put a stadium? Yeah, and how are you going to do that? I mean, it's the freaking.
I have no idea.
It's a freaking country that is not notorious for the sport of hockey. But then again, if you could find an NHL arena, or if you could find a capable arena in the state of I keep calling it a state, in the country of Mexico, then good for you. Just do what you can, but you better pray that whatever they do gets them some money.
Yeah. So either that. I mean, this could go either. This could go one of two ways. Either they somehow make some good money off of it, or this may come back to haunt them.
Well, I think it also depends on who they play. Now, if they play like the Vegas Golden Knights, then maybe they can get some sort of benefit out of it. But you really got to put a decent team with a decent, fan base in there. San Jose, I wouldn't mind too either, because I've seen some Latino themed jerseys in San Jose for the Sharks, but the Coyotes do it a lot. I think Vegas did it at one point. I don't really remember. I had to look back. I don't know. It's really hard to tell like who they would put in there. But as far as I'm concerned, I think that Vegas would be the best, logical sense to make if you're going to put a game in Mexico.
Right. I mean, it just comes down to if they can actually do a sellout game, because again, we're dealing with they're planning on sending Coyotes to a country that knows little or maybe nothing about hockey,
or put the Toronto Maple Leafs in there, and you could sell in there with Austin Matthews. Because if you think about it, his dad is from America and his mom was from Mexico. So he's the first American player, first Mexican American player in the NHL. And he just won the Hart Trophy for league MVP not just yesterday night. So
no thanks. Yeah, that sounds like a oh sorry. Thank you. But that could work.
It could work.
Who knows? Yeah.
It could very well work, but again, it has to really determine who the fan base is. Like, if it's the Coyotes with like the Lightning, then maybe it could work. So I don't know. It's really hard to tell what they're going to do here. I mean, I would like for them to try it out in Mexico, because I've said it for years, but it really just depends on who they put in. That's really what I think it counts most to.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. And that's not the only international game that we're going to get too. So apparently the Montreal Canadiens and the Ottawa Senators will have a preseason game in Newfoundland and in New Brunswick in October.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So at least, see, that at least makes sense because it's in the Canadian market. So freaking Newfoundland, I think, is within 2 hours south of Toronto, because our old buddy Luffy is from Newfoundland. And what was I going to say? Yeah. No. He's not from Newfoundland. Oh, is he? Yeah. I think he is. He's from Newfoundland. And they're all in the Canadian era. So New Brunswick and Newfoundland, that's where they're going to be playing a preseason game. I wanted this to be sure, because for some fucking reason I thought that Newfoundland was a country in Europe, but I found out it's a province. Yeah, I know. I'm a fucking idiot. I just had a brain fart there. I apologize in advance. I mean, that happens sometimes, but that's cool though. So you're gonna have two division rivals in the same country going up against each other in two areas that don't even have an NHL team, let alone they have a developmental league team, but that's about it. Like, they have ECHL, they have WHL teams and stuff like that, but not an NHL team. But I think you get the idea.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense for that to for that kind of game to happen in still in Canada. So they should get a decent crowd up there, even though it's preseason.
Oh, sure, yeah. And speaking of Canada, so apparently Team Canada has dealt with the hockey team, the Canadian Olympic team. So hockey's Team Canada has dealt with 1 to 2 allegations of sexual assault per year within the last 5 to 6 years.
What?
Yeah, this is according to their president, Scott Smith, who said that he believes that the organization has dealt with 1 to 2 allegations per year within the span of 5 to 6 seasons.
Oh, jeez, man.
That's disgusting.
It is.
That's almost as shitty as what the Blackhawks did. And even the Blackhawks themselves have completely destroyed their dynasty from the last decade just from those allegations.
Yeah, my thing is, were those allegations ever proven?
You know, that's a good question because I don't even know, to be honest with you. I don't think so. I mean, I haven't looked into it since, but I would imagine that this is the case because if you're coming out to say, oh, we have multiple allegations per year, you're making a very serious case.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is very serious. So they got to really come out here and have some sort of proven evidence because that's what the NHL did is they had a committee last summer when they investigated what's his face who I forget his name, but he was the one that sexually assaulted Kyle Beach and with the Chicago Blackhawks. And then, of course, he got fired and then stuff like that. And Joe Quenneville had to resign because he knew about all the allegations and doing anything about it. And then their scumbag argument was we only cared about winning hockey games, not dealing with sexual assault allegations.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that was a long story when that came out. And I just remember that like it was yesterday. So it's honestly insane if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, it is. Holy crap.
Yeah, I mean, I don't wish anybody any harm like that at all, but it is what it is. I mean, not to say that I'm grieving over it. I mean, I am, but it's just at this point, an average person like you and me, we can't really do anything about it because that's not our place, obviously, and we weren't not involved in it. So it's just something to look out for. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on top of all that, we also found out today that, you know, the company Fanatics that sells all those merchandise?
Yeah.
Well, Fanatics CEO Michael Rubin is selling his 10% stake in the Harris Blitzer Sports Entertainment, or HBSE, which owns the New Jersey Devils and the Philadelphia 76ers, and he is divisiting his 11-year stake in the franchise because of looming conflicts of interest of his expansion of Fanatics into sports betting and individual player partnerships. And Fanatics is a $20+ billion company that sells licensed professional and college merchandise online. And the expansion into sports betting and negotiating individual partnership deals with pro athletes create numerous conflicts with the collective bargaining agreement rules in both leagues.
Wow.
So, in other words, this guy is looking to sell his stake with the Sixers and the Devils because of deals with players, with branding and all that, and it goes against their guidance. Basically, it goes against their standard guidance for, you know, self betting and whatever.
Jeez, what is he doing?
Who the fuck knows? But as far as I'm concerned, you know, it's pretty shitty that you are basically doing this, and I can't imagine where everything would be from here if it weren't for him. I mean, I have seen you know, advertisements from the NBA from certain players because I don't really, for one, don't care about basketball, but I've seen a lot of advertisements on fanatics.com about some of those players, and they get endorsement deals and stuff like that. So, I mean, the NHL too, but like they don't make it as much of a deal as it does like in the NBA, if that makes any sense.
Right. Yeah.
So the NBA, I think they did it with LeBron. I think they did it with Jason Tatum. I mean, I'm not exactly sure, but that's how little I know about the NBA. But the NHL, I know they do it with Austin Matthews. They did it with Patrick Kane. They did it with Alex Ovechkin. They did it with a handful of people.
Yeah.
That I know for sure. And then recently, We also found out the other day too. This was on Monday, so this was 2 days ago. That Carolina Hurricanes defenseman, who is an RFA this summer, by the way, Ethan Bear, has been granted permission by the Carolina Hurricanes to talk to other teams across the league. And the Canes, however, want to re-sign him, but the two sides are not close to an extension. So this basically leaves the market wide open for anybody to trade for him, even Seattle.
Well, if Seattle dips their fingers into it, they better come up with a pretty good deal for him.
Well, we'll have to see what the asking price is, because I remember, and this is a quick story. I remember when last summer, when Jesperi Kotkaniemi was an RFA for the Montreal Canadiens, and it was between them and the Carolina Hurricanes. And the Canadiens, a few years ago, how this all started, the Canadiens offered $5 to $6 million per year to Sebastian Aho, who's Carolina's best player. And at the time, he was an RFA. So he says, okay, I have to think this over. And the Hurricanes had the money because they weren't competitive yet. So they go out and they basically outbidded the Canadiens and said, okay, we're going to pay our guy regardless what you think. And a year later or 2 years later, after that story, the Hurricanes do the same thing the Canadiens tried to do to Aho, but except this time, Carolina won the war. So they ended up claiming Jesperi Kotkaniemi, and the price, I think, was 2 second-round picks. And they also paid him an estimate of $8 million for 1 year. And then after that, the Canes gave him a massive contract to play for the Hurricanes. So Jesperi Kotkaniemi, 3 years after being drafted, gets sent off by Montreal to Carolina because Montreal didn't want to spend all that money, and Carolina paid him by a big margin. So that's basically what this deal is. So whoever gets Ethan Bear by trade, they'll trade for his rights and then negotiate with him of how much money he's going to want. So I would have to imagine there's going to be a handful of clubs across the league that are going to want to look at Ethan Bear because he's like 24, 25. So he's a young guy. So they could definitely say, hey, we want to pay you this certain amount of money, but we also want to give out the compensation amount of, picks for this guy. So it could be 2 second-round picks. It could be 2/3. It could be even a first-round pick. That's how much it could be. It's right. A lot. That's the deal.
Yeah, it is.
When you're a UFA, you're pretty much outbidding everybody. When you're an RFA, you're pretty much outbidding yourself.
Gotcha.
That's pretty much how this works. So it's just an interesting thought. And he's a defenseman too, by the way. And I think Seattle needs a defenseman. Yeah,
he could be. Yeah, he could be right up their alley. Who knows?
Maybe.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll just have to. Yeah, we just gotta wait to see what the asking price is, and if Seattle can match it or make it better, then hopefully everything will work out.
Absolutely. So now let's get to the fun part, because there's been a lot of these lately. Is NHL Coaching Hires. Yeah, there's been a lot of those. Woo!
Oh, boy.
I can't freaking wait to get into this because there's a lot to digest. So let's start from the very beginning. So Lane Lambert, a few weeks ago, was hired by the New York Islanders to replace Barry Trotz. That was already addressed. The Montreal Canadiens re-signed Marty St. Louis for 3 more years. Last week, we talked about Bruce Cassidy being the head coach of the Vegas Golden Knights. And since then, it has been confirmed that he is the head coach of the Vegas Golden Knights. And then I also mentioned last week that John Tortorella, if you remember, I remember saying that he's being linked to the Philadelphia Flyers and he could be on the verge of being their new head coach. Mm-hmm. Well, it is official, and he signed it on Friday, and he is now the new head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers. He's their 23rd head coach.
Wow.
Yeah, if you ever watch highlights or videos of John Tortorella, he's a very old school head coach. He's a guy that will get players to play into his system for a couple of years, but he'll piss off a lot of the star players.
Yeah, that could go either way. Might benefit them or might come back to bite them.
Well, again, this is John Tortorella, who's a bit of a hothead on his own. He doesn't take shit from anybody. That's the thing I love about Torts. And there's a reason why he sticks around. And it's funny because on the day he got hired by the Flyers, he went on a podcast. I forgot who it was. And he said specifically that this is going to be my last team in the NHL. So depending how long I stay in Philadelphia, this is going to likely be my last team. and then I'm going to retire. So I said, okay. So if that's the case, then I'm going to miss Torts because I think he's a great head coach. But I know he hasn't done anybody anywhere in a while. I want to say at most he hasn't got anybody anywhere since he won the Stanley Cup in 2004. Yeah, but he's had a remarkable career as a head coach. He's had his ups and downs. He's not perfect, but he's definitely one of the better ones that Tampa Bay had in a while in 2004 when they won their first cup. So Tortorella to the Flyers is confirmed. So I could say that for certain. That I think that's going to be the one that gets the what's the word I'm looking for? I forget the expression, but anyway. So I think this could make them a lot more competitive because it's a perfect system. He's an unlikable coach with an unlikable city.
Yeah, let's hope. Yeah, let's see how much of an impact he'll make for Philadelphia.
Absolutely, and like I said, he'll have players buy into a system, but he'll also butt heads with certain players, specifically the star ones. Because I remember that's how he got fired by the Rangers because he used to butt heads with Ryan Callahan and Brad Richards and all those people, and that's how he got out of. That's how Torts got fired by Tampa is because he butted heads with Brad Richards, and Brad Richards won out of Tampa, and he got traded to the Dallas Stars within that same year, 4 years after they won the Cup.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really interesting what they're doing here with this approach, but we'll see what happens because I honestly. It could be the worst thing that could happen to the Flyers or the best thing that could happen to them.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But John Tortorella to the Philadelphia Flyers. The other thing, too, that I want to bring up is on Monday, the Chicago Blackhawks are hiring a former AHL player by the name of Ryan Huska as their new head coach of the Chicago Blackhawks. Yeah, so get a load of this guy. So Ryan Huska is 46 years old. And he has one career NHL game with the Blackhawks. One. And that was in 1997 and 98. That was 25 years ago. And he's been the Calgary Flames defensive coach for the last 4 seasons.
Wow.
So yeah, go ahead.
I mean, one NHL career game with the Blackhawks, and all of a sudden they hire him as the head coach. I don't get it.
Like, what good is that going to do? I mean, I know at this point Chicago needs to rebuild, but it sounds like to me Chicago is rebuilding.
Yeah, they sound like they're literally starting from square one.
They have no choice because Jonathan Toews, I think. Oh, and by the way, I think I called you out on this. Not called you out because that's not the right word. I think I corrected you on this. It's Toews, not Toes. And I know it's spelled like that, but it's Toews. Like caves with a T. Toews.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. So Jonathan Toews. Anyway, so he might be out. Patrick Kane might be out. And there's talks too that Patrick Kane might get traded to the Buffalo Sabres since he's from the Buffalo area.
Oh boy. Honestly, I don't know how I feel about that if that were to happen, because he's got a history of off field antics, all that stuff, you know.
She said no. She said no.
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember that. But on the other end of the spectrum, though, Chicago needs to rebuild. I mean, if you look back from 2010 to all the way to 2015, Chicago won 3 cups. And they were considered at the time before Tampa Bay. They were considered the modern day dynasty at that time.
Look how that worked out for them.
Yeah. So not only are they hiring Ryan Huska as their new head coach, which I think is fucking random, they're also going to be hiring Megan Hunter as the fourth assistant GM in NHL history, who is a female. So a female GM for the Chicago Blackhawks, and she's the 4th one in NHL history.
Okay. I mean, oh boy. How do I say this without being offensive? Let's see.
Without being misogynistic. Is that what you were saying?
Right. Because because we all know how today's society is. But look, it all comes down to experience. Okay, I don't care if you're a man or a woman. How much experience do you have in working for a particular league and all that stuff? That's what it comes down to.
Right. But I think she's qualified for the job. I mean, it really just depends. It really just depends what Chicago does. I mean, if you're bringing in a female executive to be in a very serious role in the world of sports, and you better pray that she pans out.
Yeah, and if she's qualified, then I got no problem with it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, Chicago's in a very interesting spot right now. You get a brand new rookie head coach, and you get a rookie assistant GM who's in the opposite sex.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I look at it. I mean, again, I'm not misogynistic. I just hope she does well. That's all I can really ask for.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, and I mentioned earlier today that Nazem Kadri, I mentioned he was in game 4, right? I mentioned that in the beginning of the show.
Yep.
So apparently he is being brought up as a potential what was I going to say? As a potential fit for the Washington Capitals.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's getting to that point. So we'll see, because he's a UFA after the finals.
Okay.
So
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and Nicholas Backstrom's contract is pretty large because he just got surgery a little while back. So Nicholas Backstrom, according to Frank Cervelli on TSN, he said long road ahead for Capital Center Nick Backstrom, who has hinted before that he may not be able to make it back to the NHL. And the opposite thing about all this is Ryan Kessler underwent the same surgery in 2019 and never played again. Ed Jovanovski was the first one to do it in 2013, and it took him a full year to rehab and only played 37 games and then retired. So this might have been this might have been Nicholas Backstrom's last season in the NHL. And if this is the case, he's probably going to retire, if by choice or no choice at all, and he'll have his number 19 jersey retired by the Capitals. That's how I feel about it.
I mean, it sucks. It sucks to have that kind of injury, shorten your career and all that stuff. And when you try to come back from those kinds of injuries, you're honestly you're never really the same.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's kind of what's happening with Nicholas Backstrom, is you really don't know what you're going to get out of all of it. But if he doesn't come back, great for him, because he's been around for almost 15 to 17 years. But if anything, we'll see what the Capitals do with this, because they have to really dig deep into this. If whether or not Nick Backstrom goes on long-term injury reserve and then he retires and they trade his contract, or they find another right-hand man for Alex Ovechkin, because Ovi is on the last few years of his contract to begin with, let alone in the NHL, because he's like 36 years old, or maybe 37 at most. But Ovi's not getting younger, and I think without Nick Backstrom to finish his career off with, it's going to feel very different for him.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I really hope the best for the Caps. I really do. I just hope that things work out for him from here on out. Let's see. Do we have any other news to go around before we get to football? No, it does not look like it. Okay, so I think that's it for hockey, and now we can move forward with football. Yeah, so there's a lot to uncover. So I actually have some screenshots for you guys here, because I think it's only appropriate to bring this up. So let's get right down to it. So the first thing I want to share is the Philadelphia Eagles have decided to change their logo. Yeah, let me show you this real quick. There it is. Oh, wrong one. There it is. So as you can see, there's the Philadelphia's old logo up here, and below that is the new one. I think it's a lot cleaner than the old one. What do you think?
Honestly, yeah, it looks cleaner, but I still prefer the old one. I don't know. It's just the way it's just the style of it. I mean, to me, the new one, while it looks clean, to me it looks bland.
bland, you think?
Yeah, I don't know. It might take me a little while to get used to it, but I don't know. Right now, it doesn't. To me, it doesn't really look right.
I hear you. And then I saw the new Eagles flag, like you can see right here. There's the Philadelphia Eagles, and there's the new war mark right there.
Hmm.
That's what it would look like all together.
Okay.
I mean, for me personally, because I'm an old school guy, I prefer the old one, but I don't mind the new one either. I don't think it's terrible. I think it's kind of like what the New England Patriots did back a few years ago. I don't know how long it was, but if you remember what the Patriots did, they took the Pat the Patriot logo and they removed it, and then they made it a modern look, and it says Patriots right on the crest. I don't know if you remember that or not.
I don't think I do.
Let me show you. So while we're here, it might as well. So let me show you. So this is the New England Patriots. Oops. Yeah, this is the New England Patriots word mark, which I'm going to show you right now. Come on. I'm doing this one-handed, by the way. See how they did it like this?
Oh, yeah.
See how they did it? Yeah. This was the old one right here where my mouse is. And then if you take the top, they modernized it.
Right.
You ever notice this at all?
Yeah, I remember it now. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what the Patriots did. So they basically took their logo and they modernized it. So if you look back to that logo compared to what Philadelphia did, it looks almost similar in a way.
Yep. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised, to be honest. But I mean, overall, the logo is not too bad. But one other thing, it almost makes me think, will the Eagles change their logo, their primary logo?
Honestly, I don't think they will, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do.
Me neither. But I think at this point, I mean, I like what they got with the midnight green, but I think the Eagles head, I think is the perfect logo. I don't think it needs to be changed.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, there's no need to change. But I will say this though. What the hell am I? Okay. So over the week, in case you haven't noticed, there was a rumor that went around a few months ago that basically said that the NFL is planning on bringing back retro helmets, and a handful of teams have already been leaked. The New England Patriots were one of the teams that revealed their helmets, and the New Orleans Saints came out with a new helmet on Monday, but that's for temporary reasoning. And there's actually a handful of them, and I actually found an Instagram account called Project VII. I think is an abbreviation for 4. And so I think it's Project 4 on Instagram. I'll leave a link in the description. But anyway, so I'm going to show you something really interesting. So if you could see right here, this is their video on their Instagram account. So you could see there's a bunch of helmets. And I saw these earlier, and I could tell these are real because some of them were already revealed. Like the New Orleans Saints, like here's New Orleans. This was revealed on Monday. You could see there's the black, and it has the little bit of the Saints logo in the middle. It's like a Seattle Seahawks look to it. They got that going, and on the back it says New Orleans. Atlanta, there's the Falcons right there with the big red helmet. They revealed this, I think, 2 weeks ago. So you could definitely tell that's real. And then, of course, today, and it was announced that New England Patriots are bringing back the Pat the Patriot logo or their uniforms, all in all, for the season for a couple of games. And then over the winter, the Eagles and the Buccaneers were announcing that they were bringing back their old school uniforms. Like the Buccaneers are bringing back the orange creamsicle jerseys, and the Eagles are bringing back the Celtic green jerseys. So, and there's a handful of them. There's actually 3 that were not mentioned yet to the media, but I think they will be, or 4, I should say, that were mentioned, but they were rumored to be. But I don't think everybody's getting them yet, but there's a handful of teams that on here that are getting the helmets. So you could see on the left below the Buccaneers is the Houston Oilers right here with the baby blue. So what do you think?
Man, I haven't seen that one in shoot. I still remember it like it was yesterday. Holy crap. And wow. Just wow.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So there's Houston, and I would imagine this is going to be worn by the Titans. It has to be. It's got to be the Titans.
Yeah.
It's got to be. And then, of course, the infamous Red Falcons helmet.
Mm-hmm. I remember those.
Yep, they're bringing this back as an alternate. I know they had this a couple of years ago. If when they had a black jersey and it had a red helmet on it. When I think of the Atlanta Falcons with this logo on their helmet, I think of Deion Sanders. Like that's who I legit think of. And then, and the Saints, the Saints, honestly, I don't like it very much.
Sure, I can barely see it, so I can't really.
Let me see if I can get you a close up.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get you a close up. Saints new helmet. There it is. So this is the new Saints helmet.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, looking at it now, I don't like the. What are those dots in the middle of it?
That's the logo.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
I don't like that very much. That's very Seattle Seahawks-ish.
Yeah, but honestly, other than that, I kind of like it. Yeah, but just the line, but just the middle part of the helmet. That doesn't really sit me well. That doesn't sit well with me.
Yep. And there's Cameron Jordan with the helmet, as you can see. He's wearing the white alternate, and he's got the black alternate helmet. I am not a fan of that helmet at all. I mean, it's very, like I said, it's very Seahawkish, but I don't like the fact that they did this design in general and just left it around. If they just left this out, I probably would have liked the helmet a lot more.
Yeah, seems me too. Yeah, it just them middle part just ruins the helmet.
Yeah, like you could see it. Like if I zoom in a little bit, I don't know if I can, but there we go. So you could see it. There's the Saints logo in the middle of the helmet.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Yeah, and like, what's up with this? Like the logo's facing upwards, but on the other end, it's going downwards. Like, what is up with that? And then it meets in the middle. Like, I don't understand that.
Yeah, me neither. It doesn't look right at all.
No, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Let me go back to that picture. Okay, so where were we? Philadelphia. So you can clearly see this is the Celtic green jerseys that the Eagles wore in the 80s. You can clearly tell who this is. This is the worst kept secret. Them and the Buccaneers. Everybody knew that the Eagles were bringing this back. Yeah, but I will say this. There's actually a helmet in this pile that I'm actually the most excited for. Outside of the Bills, of course, it's the Chargers. Look at that.
Oh, yes. I remember those, man. Holy crap.
Look at that, dude. That's the freaking San Diego Chargers.
My gosh. Oh, why did they have to move from San Diego, man? They screwed that city over doing that.
Fuck you, Spanos. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy. Anyway, but the Chargers, though, that helmet, though, reminds me so much of, like, what I used to grow up with, like, with Ryan Leaf, even though he sucks. That's the first person I think of when I think of that helmet is Ryan Leaf, one of the biggest draft busts of all time. But outside of Leaf, Junior Seau, LaDainian Tomlinson, Drew Brees, Antonio Gates, that's what that helmet reminds me of, is the old San Diego Chargers days.
Yeah, the very second I saw that, the first player that I thought of immediately was Junior Seau.
Yeah, so when I think of the Chargers, that's who I think of. I think of LT when LaDainian Tomlinson when I think of the Chargers with that helmet.
Yeah.
But that's just what I think personally. And then we have the Buccaneers orange creamsicle jerseys on the left next to above the Houston Oilers. I would say this is probably my least favorite one next to the Saints, only because that it's very bland. It was one of the worst jerseys of all time, if not one of the worst in the NFL. With its orange creamsicle jersey, and it's just ugly. And for some reason, Buccaneers fans really like this uniform.
Yeah, I never saw. I don't know, man. I didn't like it at all. I don't know. I don't know what Buccaneers fans ever saw in those uniforms, man. The cream orange. It didn't look right at all. Nah.
What do you call it? Have you ever seen the uniforms in full?
I have, yeah, but
It,
it's just, yeah, I never liked them at all.
it is absolutely horrendous. I do not like it at all. And the fact that Josh Freeman, I don't know if you remember that guy at all.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and Vinny Testaverde had to wear that jersey.
Oh man, Testaverde.
Oh no, wait! Don't stop me there. Fucking Bo Jackson.
Oh god.
Bo Jackson said, "Do not draft me because I will not play for you." And sure enough, the Buccaneers decided to stubbornly stick to their guns, and they drafted Bo Jackson, and he never played one snap for the Buccaneers.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, that's how I remember the Buccaneers. But the fact that they have a soft spot for those jerseys is just a mystery to me.
Yeah, I'll never understand that.
Whatever. Okay, so there's one on the top. There's the Denver Broncos. The Denver jersey looks amazing. Let me see if I can get a different angle. There we go. Look at that. There's the freaking, oh my God, there's another helmet in the back.
Whoa, is that Indianapolis?
No, that's Seattle.
What?
Yeah, I'll show you in a little bit. But let's go to Denver. So there's Denver right there. As you can see, there's the giant D with the unicorn, I think, and it's shooting a beam from its mouth or from the horn or whatever. That's like the 80s Denver Broncos with like the early years of John Elway.
Oh yeah, I remember those days. John Elway, Shannon Sharp.
Oh yeah,
those guys.
All those guys. That's what this logo is for the Denver Broncos. Is the fact that that they're actually bringing that back, I think is great. Because I know they have that other jersey that they have, but it's navy blue, not royal blue like this jersey.
Right.
Yeah, I'm happy for Denver fans because I think they deserve to see this helmet again.
Oh yeah, definitely brings back a lot of memories.
It sure does. I wouldn't be shocked either if by any means necessary they make that into a logo, like their primary logos next season. I wouldn't be shocked if they went back to the old Jays, honestly, because that's what some teams in the NHL started to do. But I know it's a different league, but that's what some teams in the NHL do is they modernize their old-fashioned jerseys like Buffalo, Philadelphia, the Islanders, the Penguins. The Capitals might do it next year. Not really sure. Just to kind of give you an idea. But Denver, though, I think when I think of that helmet, I think of John Elway.
Yep. Yeah, same here.
Yeah. I can't believe I missed that when I first saw the clip. There's the Seattle Seahawks right below the Denver Broncos. You could see the blue cage here. There's the beak with the mouth, and then there's the eye, and then the whole helmet is silver.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember those now.
Yeah, it reminds me of the early years of Rick Meyer and Steve Largent. And if you think about it, Brian Bosworth wore that jersey too, and that helmet. When you think about it, I don't know if you remember. Do you remember Brian Bosworth?
I don't think I do. I don't think I do.
Okay, let me put it this way: he won the Heisman. He won the Dick Butkus Award in the '80s, in the '80s, and he was kicked off the University of Oklahoma's football program for failing a drug test. And he went into I think it was the 1984 or 85 NFL supplemental draft, and nobody took him because of those test results. And Seattle was the only one at the time that took him, and he became a draft bust, and he was pretty much a big mouth at that time. In fact, he was actually in the movie with Adam Sandler, the remake of The Longest Yard. He was one of the guards in the movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I never even noticed that.
Yeah, he was in the movie with Bill Romanowski.
Oh man, I remember him. Holy crap.
Yeah, him and Brian Bosworth were in the same movie together. They were on the guards. And you had freaking William Fichtner, who was a big-time Bills fan, and was the Captain Knauer in the remake. Yeah.
Wow.
So all three of them were on the guards team.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, when I think of this, I think of Steve Largent and Brian Bosworth. I figure I'd just share that. But that's the bottom line. As for the New England Patriots, Well, you already mentioned this one earlier, but it was already revealed that Pat the Patriot is in fact coming back as a alternate jersey for the New England Patriots. Yeah, I think it's way overdue that they take these jerseys again. I think it's way overdue because when was the last time the Patriots actually had an alternate jersey?
Oh, geez. Probably maybe, dang, I don't even remember. Maybe like a few years ago.
Yeah, I think like a decade ago.
I really don't remember.
I remember the Patriots had those jerseys for like one game. I think it was during Christmas, and they played the Tennessee Titans, and they had the baby blue Houston Oilers jersey on. And I think it was for like a throwback night or something like that. I don't remember, but I remember Tom Brady had Randy Moss in that game, and it was heavily snowing at that game. And I remember watching it on CBS when it was on at the time. And I think the Patriots shut out the Titans because of how bad the weather was. And the Patriots won that game. No surprise at that time.
Yeah.
I figure I just throw that out there. So, and finally, the helmet that's on the far right is the one that's probably what everybody's been asking for years. Is the infamous Buffalo Bills red jersey? I mean, a red helmet. Excuse me.
Oh my gosh, man! I definitely remember those. The good old days, man.
Oh yeah, for certain.
Oh gosh.
Oh, dude, I can't wait to see those again. I mean, the last time I saw a red helmet was in the early 2000s, but it was with like a mixture of like navy blue and black and silver, and it completely ruined it for me. The 90s version, like this is literally from their Super Bowl era, from the years of Thurman Thomas, Jim Kelly, Andre Reed, Bruce Smith, all those guys. That's what that helmet is. The biggest thing, and I noticed on the helmet, is I have the same one over by my fireplace, is that one in particular has a gray cage mask. If you notice on the front, it has a gray cage mask.
Oh wow, that is awesome.
Yeah, I just noticed that. Let me see if there's another angle for these jerseys or for these helmets. Excuse me. Let me turn that off. Yeah, that's about it. That's all the helmets. So let's see. There's one. Okay, so Seattle's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
I can hear you.
9, 10. Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, my phone just automatically picked up my house's Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I got you. So all in all, there's 10 helmets in here, and I would have to imagine there's going to be more revealed in the near future.
Yeah, can't wait till they do.
Oh, absolutely. So I'm going to stop the share now as we brain fart. No, I'm excited for it overall. So I can't wait to see what the NFL has in store for everybody else. You know, I want to see if they bring back the green Jets helmet, but it was all green and it said Jets from the 90s. I want to see that. I want to see the Giants Super Bowl helmet. I want to see that. I actually, you know what? No, I take that back. They actually already have that as an alternate jersey. What am I talking about? I mean, there are some teams.
That's right, they do.
Yeah, I want to see if there's one helmet I really want to see. I want to see the Carolina Panthers original helmets.
Oh man,
that I want to see. I would love to see that. Yeah, we are having technical difficulties, guys. So just bear with us here. Sean's having a little Wi-Fi trouble, but he should be back home pretty damn soon. Sean, can you hear me, guy? Okay. So while he's doing that, we're going to get right back into it. So there's a couple of more subjects before we get going. Yeah, there's definitely some things I want to talk about for sure. One thing that's been keeping everybody busy lately is the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. I want to talk about those two in a little bit, but let's start with Cleveland. So Cleveland, in case you haven't noticed, Sean's back. Hey, you back yet?
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, your Wi-Fi got cut off for a little bit.
Yeah, we're just coming in the house. But anyway, yeah, like I was saying, I also want to see the old Jacksonville Jaguars helmets too.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if they brought that back. But we'll see.
For real.
We'll have to see. So we got two more topics to go, and they both revolve around the AFC North. One for Cleveland and one for Baltimore. So let's talk about Cleveland because there's a lot of interesting news coming out. So the Cleveland Browns, if you haven't been living under a rock, the NFL will argue for a significant suspension for quarterback Deshaun Watson for violating the league's personal conduct policy. And a source of Watson's side of the case has told his sources that the NFL will probably, in quotation, push for a season-long suspension. And a close representative to the case said, in quote, that a significant would be a proper term. And when asked about the length of his late-moving suspension, but said nothing is final, as of now, the NFLPA does intend to defend Watson by pointing out that the NFL's refusal to suspend owners Robert Kraft, Dan Snyder, and Jerry Jones for their separate conduct violations. And the NFL will share its findings with the new disciplinary officer, Sue L. Robinson, and hope to conclude the investigation before the Browns training camp on July 27th. And Watson, who's only 26 years old, is facing a 24 active civil lawsuits, or actually it's 26, by women accusing him of sexual misconduct during massage sessions, and two more civil suits are expected to be filed in the near future by attorney Tony Busby. And two grand juries in Texas have already declined to charge Watson with a crime, and he has continued to deny any wrongdoing. And since that news came out, it's also been said that he's also came to a settled agreement with 20 out of the 24 accusers with that. So he's given them, I believe, each $20,000 just to keep their mouth shut, I think.
Good grief. Well, look, they gotta give him some kind of severe punishment, man. Just to have that many allegations against you, like there is something going on right there. So yeah, they need the season long punishment. Yeah, then I don't know if that'll be enough. If I'm being honest,
we'll find out down the road, I guess.
Yep.
But I do not believe, however, he's going to jail. At this point, I don't feel like he should be in jail, but it's probably not going to happen. I do believe that he's going to get a long year suspension, maybe 6 to 10 games at most.
Yeah, there'll be some kind of loophole for him to avoid jail time.
Yeah, there has to be some sort of accountability. So at this point, he's not going to jail because he's already paid off 20 of these people. And now he's going to get suspended. So regardless how you look at it, the dude's getting suspended no matter what happens.
Exactly. And he deserves it, to be real.
Deserves it.
Oh, gosh. Like, it's just freaking inexcusable, man.
Well, we'll see what happens. And then one other thing, too, is, and because of how desperate the Cleveland Browns are for the whole situation, there's also talks that the Browns are also willing to cover half of Baker Mayfield's salary to help facilitate a trade. So in other words, they're willing to retain 50% of his salary for a team that's willing to trade for him, whether it's the Panthers or whether it's the Seahawks. Because I got a tip yesterday that the Panthers are highly interested in him, and the Seahawks today are back in it trying to kick their tires on him. So it's either going to be Carolina or it's going to be Seattle for Baker Mayfield.
I'm kind of leaning towards Seattle. I mean, all because if you were to go to Carolina, either him or Sam Darnold were going to be second string, and I don't see either of them being happy being second string. So I see Mayfield going to Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you at this point. Before the draft, I definitely said Carolina, but looking after the draft, I definitely have to point to Seattle because they did not draft a quarterback, and the Panthers did. The Panthers drafted Matt Corral out of Ole Miss, so he's going to be competing with Darnold. But Seattle did not take a quarterback, and they're highly convincing themselves that Geno Smith and Drew Lock are going to be the face of their franchise. Like, good fucking luck, dude.
Oh gosh, yeah, that ain't happening. Yeah, I see Baker Mayfield going to the Seahawks.
You just trade him to Seattle already. Just get it over with.
For real. I mean, you've already screwed him enough. Just get it done, man.
Like, seriously, what a pain in the ass this is becoming. I mean, it's bad enough that what's the word I'm looking for? It's bad enough that the Browns are already, dragging this longer than it should be.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just bad enough. So
it really is.
Yeah. And to wrap up tonight's episode, we have some news coming out of Baltimore, Maryland. In case you haven't heard, I don't know if you did, but this morning, Ravens outside linebacker Jalen Ferguson has sadly passed away at the age of 26, and the death has not been disclosed yet.
Oh, jeez, man.
That's way too young to die.
It is, and I don't want to. I mean, I got my suspicions, but they're all political, and so I'm not going there right now.
Yeah, and probably the biggest news of the day, just the icing on the fucking cake, is Fort Worth.
Oh, man.
What?
I know who you're talking about. I read the news too.
Go ahead, say it.
Tony Siragusa died today at the age of 55. Former Super Bowl champion with the Baltimore Ravens back in the early 2000s, and oh gosh, man, dude was only 55 years old. Oh,
that's really young.
It is. Not white goose.
That's really sad. People have been dying like flies on dead flesh this year, and then that's not to be arrogant. That's reality of the situation.
It is. It is. I just don't think something's adding up. Something doesn't feel right about any of this. But again, I'm not going down that route right now.
Yeah, I hear you. But it is really sad, though. I mean, I said, it should not happen. But when two former Ravens die on the same day, that's a pretty big kick in the nuts.
It is. Like, jeez, man. Like, it's this franchise can't get a freaking break, man. Like, holy crap.
Right. It is what it is. And in the last topic, and I forgot to mention this earlier, where we were talking about head coaches, is the Seattle Kraken. Would you like to tell us what happened?
Oh, don't mind if I do.
Yes, please. Tell us about your bubbly, colored monster friends. Tell us.
All right, buckle up, boys and girls, because this is going to be one heck of a bumpy ride. So, Seattle's affiliate team in the AHL, the Coachella Valley Firebirds, I've got a new head coach. And if you're a Sabres fan, you might know his name.
Or a Penguins fan.
His name sounds really familiar. It is the one and only Dan Bylsma. Dan freaking Bylsma. Freaking why? Why?
Oh God.
Let me just say this. I'll just say this. At least it's in the AHL. But still, man, what golly.
Hey, just to give you
what do you say about that?
Well,
like, for real, what can you say about this?
Well, if it makes you feel better, if Dave Haxtell sucks again next year or the year after that, the Kraken can always bring him up as an interim head coach.
This team is way too young for this level of nightmare. Way too young. We literally just ended our inaugural season. What do you? I can't. I can't right now.
When you have a former Stanley Cup champion coach as an AHL affiliate for you, chances are that he's a shit coach.
Yeah. Just ask the Sabres.
Yeah, exactly. Ask the Sabres. I will tell you this, though. He's a stubborn coach. He's supposedly a quote-unquote players coach, and yet clearly did not get along with Jack Eichel and clearly did not get along with Sam Reinhart when both of them were here. So for Dan Bylsma to be considered a good coach, that's just an understatement. He's an egotistical asswipe, and he's going to be potentially your head coach in 2 years if Dave Haxtell gets fired.
Oh gosh, I really hope that doesn't happen. I really hope it doesn't happen. Again, man, what can I say about this? What in the world can I say about this? I mean, golly.
Besides the fact that I could just sit here and just laugh. Have fun, Sean.
Yeah, I'm gonna feel your pain with this guy.
So you have not one, but two shitty head coaches on your team.
Well, I'll take our current head coach over Bylsma any day.
Oh God! Around the world in 8 days. Oh, I'm gonna have a fucking field day. Oh
gosh. And the Firebird season is later this year, right? The inaugural season?
Firebirds next season.
Next season.
This coming year.
Great. Inaugural season. And already from this news is already going down the toilet.
Yeah, congrats, guys.
Already. And they haven't even started their season.
How does it personally make you feel, honestly?
You see my reaction. Come on, man. But again, at least it's in the AHL and not the NHL. But I have a really bad feeling it's only a matter of time before it comes back to the NHL. If he were to be the new head coach for the Kraken, man, oh my gosh.
I mean, that's just hysterical to me.
Why do I feel like I'm living in the freaking Twilight Zone? Like, for real?
And
you're really gonna do me? You're really gonna do me like this?
Yes, we are. Now, let me ask you this then, because you don't like Dan Bylsma, clearly. How do you feel about Dave Haxtell now after that first full season?
Honestly, I can't look. I can't judge it. I can't heavily criticize the guy because again, it was the inaugural season, just getting started, and I don't know, man. I would have to wait till maybe the next 2 seasons to make it to make a final decision.
Oh God, this is gonna be hysterical for the next 2 years if Haxtell gets fired. I will legit laugh my ass off if Bylsma gets promoted to be their head coach in a couple of years.
Oh my gosh.
I will legit come back.
I'm gonna have nightmares about it for days if that happens. For every night if that happens.
This is just comedy. Oh God.
I just can't, man. I can't even right now.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
fucking A, dude. I totally forgot about that. I know we were going to mention earlier, but I forgot about it. Oh, God, I'm tearing up over here. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Oh, that was great. Oh, fuck. Whew. Okay, I'm calming down now. You okay?
I'm good. I'm good right now.
You sure you don't want to just smack me in the face?
I will want to come up here. Want to come up there next month.
You're gonna smack me there. Oh, that's great. So we're going to wrap up Buffalo After Dark this weekend. I am your host, Bob Hansen, for the 4th straight week until Tom hopefully comes back. I am with Sean O'Malley, and this is episode, I think, 94 or 95, somewhere like that. I think we're like 5 episodes away from 100, if I'm being completely honest. That's amazing. 2 years into this, and we're already close to 100 episodes.
Yeah, that's freaking incredible, man.
It really is. And I think Tom said a few months back, we're going to do our 100th episode as a season opener for season 3. I think he said that. I'm pretty sure. So we'll find out down the road. So with that, we're going to sign off, and we will see you guys next time. Have a good one.
Take care, everyone.
Buffalo After Dark is an H&H Studio production and is produced in partnership with Horns & Hooves Entertainment.